Officials say the new COVID-19 variant known as Omicron has been detected or has not been detected in the United States yet. However, it appears to be a matter of when, not if, the new strain is detected here. The World Health Organization says the new variant poses a very high risk globally. 12 News reporter Alexandra Leslie took questions to the Rhode Island Department of Health and explains what we know about Omicron so far. Alex?
Well, Shannon, health officials say this new variant, it has about 50 mutations, including more than 30 in its spike. That's a viral protein on its surface. They train the vaccines, the vaccines train the body rather to recognize and attack them. Now, scientists are hoping to determine if our current vaccines protect against all of them. Dr. Philip Chan with the Rhode Island Department of Health says the Omicron variant has so far not been detected in Rhode Island.
But there's still a lot we don't know, and I want to caution people about jumping to conclusions.
Chan says what we don't know is how much more transmissible the new variant could be, if it causes more severe disease, or if it's more resistant to the current vaccines or therapeutics.
Early reports from the ground suggest that it is not more severe, that it is causing more mild illness, but I think we have to wait and see what develops.
Chan says we'll be able to find the new variant with surveillance testing, as we have with other COVID variants.
So these viruses are sequenced across the world, including right here in Rhode Island.
He says early reports suggest tests will be able to detect Omicron. Chan says the best forms of protection is what we've been taught the last 2 years.
So that includes, of course, getting vaccinated, getting your booster if you haven't, wearing a mask, especially when you're in indoor public places and crowded situations, ventilation, and of course staying at home if you're sick at all.
Now, if you've gotten a COVID test recently, the Department of Health says the laboratory that runs the majority of the state testing here in Rhode Island has caused some PCR test results to be delayed by about 1 or 2 days. The DOH says that's due to a machine issue, but the problem should be resolved sometime midweek. Live in studio, Alexandra Leslie, 12 News.
The CDC is now recommending all adults get booster shots with the emergence of the Omicron variant.
Travel restrictions are now in place, though health officials say those are only to buy time to learn what they can.
12 News reporter Alexandra Leslie updates us now live in studio. Alex?
Well, Shannon and Mike, Dr. Anthony Fauci said it will take about 2 more weeks to have a better understanding about how transmissible this new variant is or if it causes more severe disease. But he says he believes the existing vaccines are likely to provide a degree of protection against severe cases. President Joe Biden says he knows a travel ban from South Africa and 7 other countries won't stop the new COVID variant from coming to the U.S. And it's a matter of when, not if.
We'll have to face this new threat just as we faced those that come before it.
The president made 3 key points about the Omicron variant. The first being, while it is a cause for concern, it's not a cause for panic.
We have the best vaccine in the world, the best medicines, the best scientists, and we're learning more every single day.
The president again pushed for people to get vaccinated and get their booster shots when eligible. He also said in the unlikely event updated vaccines or boosters are needed, the U.S. would accelerate development and deployment.
And I will also direct the FDA and the CDC to use the fastest process available without cutting any corners for safety.
Locally, Governor Dan McKee says Rhode Island's eyes are wide open relative to the new variant.
We're going to really treat this as a potential issue that we have to deal with. But as soon as we realize what it looks like, we're going to communicate that to the people in the state of Rhode Island.
Now, when asked, Governor McKee said further restrictions are not off the table, but he also said that the state's vaccination rates are high, with Rhode Island approaching 94% of adults with at least 1 shot. Live in studio, Alexandra Leslie, 12 News.